here are some of my photos. Now, they're not bad. They're not the best either, but you know what they are? They're decent. Now, how do people take photos that are not bad? Here's some things that I learned over like my little photography journey so that you don't have to. I cannot stress this enough. The rule of thirds. Now, this shit is like your bread and your butter with basic photography. It makes your shots go from unorganized to organized. And, well, yeah, professionals play with it. They don't always follow it, but that kind of applies to everything, ever. Whether that's art, photography, calligraphy, videography, filmmaking, I mean, really, when you get to that level, you can kind of do whatever you want, and people would call it art. Or you master it so much that you know what you're doing, and you know what you're doing to such a large extent that sometimes even people don't know what you're doing. For a beginner, it's best to just practice these basic rules so much, practically until your hands fall off. Anyway, with the rule of thirds, basically the entire frame is set up into thirds. Like that, 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 and that. And for some reason, these 5 points they really draw the eye. Now, placing a subject anywhere in those points, it gives you something that is aesthetically and visually pleasing. And this works for vertical and horizontal images. Now, here are examples of some of the photos that I've taken that follow this beginner's guideline, and they're beginner guidelines for a reason. Well, though they look good, though they look coherent, and though they might even make you feel something, they feel exceedingly basic, and well, it's because they are basic. So, these photos are definitely not trash, but they're definitely not up there yet. These photos are decent, but are they decent? And if you're wondering how my shirt and hairstyle changed, no, I am not an expert magician, though I do dabble in some magic. I stopped recording yesterday, and I'm recording. It's a new day. I'm sure you've all heard humans are social animals. I mean, what entails being a social animal, right? You having morals, us having religion, us speaking to each other, us communicating to each other. See, we're not lone creatures. We're not like bees are no, bees work together. Bees are social. What animals are alone? We're not like the bald eagles. See, they don't live in colonies. We live in colonies. See, bald eagles. Yes. Anyway, yes, we are not bald eagles. We are humans, and so therefore, we are social. Yes, the meaning of social is to be compatible with other people, a bunch of other people. You know, to speak to other people. The fact that we communicate to each other on a daily basis. The fact that if we're alone, we go crazy, no matter if we survive or not. That's way too deep. Back to photography. So telling stories, giving out emotions, that's a pretty big thing for humans, you know, and we do that all the time. We do that in film, we do that in books, we do that in poetry, and subsequently we do that in photography too. So yes, to grab a viewer's attention, giving them a story is quite important. And as a beginner, you do not want to get into extremely complicated ideas and complicated ideals and values, and therefore just snap a photo that tells you a story, mate. Like, really not that hard, and it really does have a great effect. Storytelling. Now, what's the difference between this photo and this photo? Now, the easiest way to tell a story is to refrain from dabbling into intricate and nuanced stories as a beginner, but rather it's to capture evident human stories, or regular human emotions as they are. Back to the question that I just gave you. The difference between these two photos is that, well, one tells a story and one doesn't really tell you a story. Now, you can get so deep into this. You can say, but actually that means this and that means this. Yeah. Come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, come on, bro. So, here you have a few of the photos that I've taken that I'd say definitely hold some sort of human emotional value. Quick recap, that's 2 points. We have the rule of thirds, and then we have the emotional storytelling. Now, I do know that there are photographers out there that don't really want to play too much with storytelling, don't really want to do much with emotion, and that's fine. I mean, plenty of photographers do that. That just means rule number 2 wasn't really for you, but if it was for you, there is an important side note, and that is 2 ways of creating emotional storytelling. 1, the still lifes, like that, and that, which do a good job, but of course, humans genetically, internally, evolutionarily are just coded to understand facial expressions and facial speech features much better than looking at objects and extrapolating emotion. And so, because of that, taking photos of humans is much easier. The thing is, there's a little aspect of it called the law, right? And so you can't just go around taking photos of strangers, especially if you can make out their facial expressions, facial features. If you're going up close, like a photo, for example, like this or this, then you're going to want to get permission. Now, whether you're getting permission before the photo shoot or after the photo shoot, I don't think it matters that much. I would prefer before. But if you want to get something in the moment, asking after is the way to go. But you must get permission because you don't want to end up in jail. Especially if you're wanting to post those photos somewhere, which is what I do on at notrwy on Instagram. That was a shameless plug. I'm just going to move on. The last tip I have for you guys before I so unfortunately have to see you off is getting a good editing software. Now, let's assume you're a beginner, and therefore let's assume you're using your phone. You'd want to use something like Snapseed. Gosh, the UI used to be terrible, but they've upgraded now, and it's quite easy to understand. You can pick from so many different filters, so many different camera type illusions. I mean, like, it pretends to be the camera, but like it edits your photo, and it looks like it was taken on a camera, and like lens blur and selective edits, and it's what I've been looking for. It's crazy elite ball knowledge, and I kind of feel sad giving it away to the world. Not that I think many people are going to watch this video, but that's that. A good editing software. Stick to it and learn how to use it. And I'm just realizing now how much this sounded like a sponsor. No one's brave enough to sponsor me. Yet. See you. Have a good day. Or night. Or afternoon or evening. I need to find a good catchphrase. I need to find like a good exit catchphrase. Whatever. Bye.